As time went on, Ruby Blue became increasingly disillusioned by his role in popular music. His 1976 album Tarnation Town flopped. Ruby was devastated.
Ruby was all fouled up. He couldn't tell left from down or up from purple. He couldn't get back to where he was before the coma.
In 1977, convinced that the release of Saturday Night Fever would cause irreparable harm to political awareness, Ruby Blue recorded the album that would complete his transformation from folksy young optimist to embittered old guy. By the fall of 1978, Ruby faced a string of bad reviews, a restraining order from Barry Gibb, and rumors that he was losing his grasp on reality.
No one could have predicted what Ruby was going to do. Except for some time-traveling gypsy soothsayer or something.
In the winter of 1979, after facing public embarrassment for building a raft out of coconuts, Ruby found himself on the road with only a guitar, a hat, and two even smaller guitars. At his lowest point, Ruby overdosed on pork and beans and found himself confronted by a vision of his heroes. The Long Trail Boys.
She done stole my cow.
They instructed him to found the Zodiac Love Wagon, a group devoted to undermining society by pantsing high-level government officials. But the Zodiac Love Wagon was short-lived. As Ruby's power grew, so did his insatiable madness. One night, after consulting his prophetic can of pork and beans, Porky, Ruby Blue vanished. No one would hear from Ruby ever again. Until 20 years later, when Ruby Blue was discovered in Miami Beach, Florida, pantsless and rabid.
When the police brought Ruby in, he was a mess.
It was November 2000, and Ruby went to the polls to vote for the first time in 20 years. But like so many other residents of Florida's Dade County, Ruby accidentally cast his presidential vote for the Hamburglar. Ruby was crestfallen. He decided it was time to make music again.
He came to me wanting to make an album. I'd completely forgotten who he was, till he offered me a lot of money, which reminded me of the invaluable friendship I once shared with Robbie Blue.
Ruby's return album, All the King's Men, sold millions, won hundreds of Grammys, and reintroduced Ruby to a new generation. Since 2001, Ruby has reconnected with his young idealism and is once again campaigning for what he believes. At the age of 81, Ruby Blue stands poised to help change America's heart and make folk music important once again.